it. And so I kind of wanted to start off. I already know your good news, but since we're, doing the group meeting, welcome to the first team call in a while. You guys know I went through a lot last month, so we're back and we're getting regrouped. And thank you again for your patience and support. First off, I really want to start off on a positive note. So if you guys want to share like one highlight from last week and one highlight from last month, either personal and or business, one of each, if you've got it. Just because I really want to start off on a really positive note, because I know we have a lot of good stuff going on. So do you want to start off, Shannon?
From last week, well, it's technically this week, I posted my results from all my rounds of 21 Day Fix, and I think at last check I had 48 likes, and I now have 3 new people who are interested because they believe it actually works. They actually just got a message today saying, I thought you would have given up by now. Or you would have gained all of your weight back, but you're not. And I was like, well, thanks. And she's like, I don't want to be fluffy anymore, so let's do this.
You remember I was talking about how you attract the same kind of coaches and challengers as you?
Yes.
It's very frustrating because it took me about a year. So I have a feeling you're in the same boat as me.
I'm attracting a lot of men that are very interested in doing it, and they're not like we've talked before, like not the creepy kind of thing. Like they're actually really interested in it, and I'm like, this is weird.
No, it's not. Think about it. That's why, like, honestly, when I did the logo and when I did everything else, I wanted to make sure it was something that was, kind of unisex in some respects. Like you can make it glittery if you want it to be girly. You can make it whatever. Like there's 2 different logos, one with the crown, one with not. And I see us probably ending up being a very heavily co-ed team. I didn't see that in the beginning, but I'm starting to see it. It's just, obviously we're women and you have to be careful, but 90% of my massage clients are men and I don't get hit on. And if I do, I take care of it very quickly.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to share, Shannon? I know that's huge for you. You've been trying to get back to that point. So I'm really, really excited for you.
I think that's it. I mean, just personally, just a lot of crazy stuff has gone on, and I think I needed my reality check that I had last week with support and everything, and it empowered me to stand up for myself, and that has kind of given me the power behind going back after my goals, because for a while there I felt, I don't want to say defeated, but and not weak, but just almost like I lost my voice and all the craziness that was going on. So, and that all happened last week, so I feel relieved.
Well, I think obviously life happens, stuff happens, and that's one of the hardest parts of this business. You can't just stop, and that's one of the things we're going to go over. And I think you've done a really good job of posting and, putting your story out there, but making it, instead of it being like, Jerry Springer drama, which it easily could be. I mean, you and I both have crazy stories. So, but I think you're letting people get to know you. Are you seeing like any more followers showing up? Anything like that?
Yeah, my friend requests have jumped, and it's all like mutual friends that I've never met. Like we don't have anything in common besides a mutual person. Mm-hmm. So I've noticed that, and my shares, like my posts that I'm posting are being shared so much more. And it's weird too, because it's not just by like my friends who aren't even challengers or anything. A lot of people that are coaches that I follow have been sharing my posts, so I'm getting more followers that way too.
That's what you want.
Yeah, it's just, I didn't it was one of those things where it's like I was just sharing and it happened, so it's kind of cool.
It's funny to me, and that's something I've noticed too. The things that you are just kind of off the cuff and just what's on your mind at that split second tend to be what gets a lot of shares, what gets a lot of likes. You know, like I did a random post earlier. I think you liked it. Just literally had nothing to do with Beachbody, had nothing to do with anything. Just literally was, you know, remember to love yourself, basically. And I think it's already got 6 or 7 shares, and like just randomly, I just saw it on somebody's page, and I was like, you know what, that's very true. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I know that we were talking about with building trust. You know, it's hard because you want to share your workouts, you want to share your Shakeology. Of course, you need to do all that because people have to know what we do. But on the other hand, you have to set yourself apart from the other bajillion coaches out there, because it does feel like sometimes like there are a lot of coaches. Until you get you know, not to rag on anybody else, but until you get invited to the 1,000th LuLaRoe or Unique party or whatever, I know there's a lot of coaches. There are nowhere near as many coaches as there are people doing that kind of thing, or Rodan and Fields, and that's great. But you know, I feel like we're in very much in an untapped market, untapped industry, and it's hard sometimes though, because we end up in the same little pods, kind of. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know, it is networking. That's why, you know, getting to know new people and getting people to share your things is it's very necessary. And a little nerve wracking and a little frustrating sometimes, because you don't always know what's going to work and what it won't. You know, I was talking to somebody today about it. I was like, you kind of just have to throw spaghetti at a wall and see what it fixes. Lisa, do you want to share, you know, your positive moments, anything? I know you've been trying to get together.
Still trying to get together. I sent her a couple emails.
Okay.
She responded once, and now she hasn't responded at all since it was 4th of July. You know, so I'm sure she had a lot of family stuff going on and stuff, but I sent her an email this morning, and I haven't heard nothing from her. So she responds. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
She's a Facebook friend or no?
No, she's not. I don't know if she's on Facebook. And personally, I don't even know how she found me. So I'm assuming it's probably Facebook, because I have a personal page and then I have a like page. So I'm wondering if possibly she found me through that like page. I mean, it's possible, but you know, I'll give it a few days, and maybe I'll send her something, because I know she's doing 21-day fix.
Did you ever find out how she got that program? If she had a coach or?
I haven't found out as to how she got the program. I don't know if she was working with a coach prior, and you know, things just fell apart, or you know, I mean, I don't have a whole story on that yet. So, and I haven't even met up with her at all. So I'm just kind of waiting for her to respond back to me. She did send me an email saying that this week would be a good week to meet. You know, and with my hours, I can meet her in the afternoon, or towards probably at sometime like after dinner or something. I can meet with her, because she just lives in Elysian, which is only 6 miles from me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just gotta kind of wait and see if she responds or not. If she doesn't, I'm just gonna keep moving on.
That's honestly really all you can do. And we're going to go over this a little bit more, but it's so tempting when you have somebody that says yes, or says okay, or, you know, even seems like they're going to do something, to just get excited and then stop. And I wanted to share something with you guys that was really frustrating. It almost makes me laugh. It's not really funny, but it almost makes me laugh, and it's happening more and more. I don't really understand why, but you know, we don't have a you know, magic mirror into people's lives, so we don't know what's going on. But I mean, I ended up last month at Success Club 10, which is awesome, but I thought I was going to end up more at like 15 or 16, because I had all these yeses, and like I can see they're seeing my messages. Like literally, I would send them the link, be like, okay, we're going to get set up now, and then they just shut down. And it's the strangest thing. I don't know what happens. I don't know if bills came up. I probably won't know for a month or two. But that's the main thing is like, even when somebody says yes, until you have that order number in, you can't stop. And, you know, Jennifer and I were talking a little bit about this. I know all of you guys have some really major goals. So what you need to do, and what I've forced myself to do, is when you have a goal, whether if getting one person signed up is your goal, that's great. If you want to hit Success Club 5 every month, then that needs to be non-negotiable. Like, you cannot stop until you've reached your goal. And even then, I would suggest, just keep going, because as long as you get used to doing the inviting and talking to people every single day, it becomes like second nature. Now, me personally, like last month, I didn't actually start inviting until like the 15th, the day before my surgery. I'm going to be flat and honest with you guys. And I was high on Percocet for a couple days, still working my butt off. But I wanted to go to the party. So, I promised you guys that I would give you as much interior look at Summit as I could. Jennifer and all of her awesomeness is going to be competing in the classics. So, hey, don't look like that. You're ready. You got this. And so you guys are going to have a first row seat at that. As much as the VIP stuff as I can get into, like now I'm going to the Success Club party. You guys are going to get, first stage passes on all that. The only thing that I'm going to ask of you guys since I am putting together the sneak peek while I'm at Summit, which is going to be a little nerve wracking. I want everybody to be included, has to invite at least one person. You have to have at least one person join. Because I think that's going to be the best way to do it. We've got 2.5 weeks still. So that's plenty of time. If you guys get more than one, that's great. But I just want you to really get used to inviting. And I know it's really awkward, and I know it feels weird sometimes, and kind of, it's hard, especially if you don't know people. But I think everybody right now is at a point, like Lisa, you're trying really hard, and I think you're really doing amazing things. And that's really awesome that, you're putting yourself out there, because that's 90% of the business, literally just putting yourself out there. I like the little thing. What did you tag me in the other day? Like, look at my pickle. I was like, I literally busted out laughing. And my husband was like, what's so funny? And I was like, I'm looking at somebody's pickle. And he was like, what? I'm like, no, literally, it's a pickle. Look. But stuff like that, I mean, you've got a great sense of humor. And I think, the more you share that, the more you're going to attract people, because people like to laugh, and the whole freaking world's gone nuts right now. So I think that's something that's awesome, and share that, I'm now the social media chair for the IB program at Ella's Kindergarten. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to probably be a little bit more PC, but we'll see. I don't know. Because the president of the BTSA is on my Facebook, and we'll see what happens. Hey, Jen, we're just sharing, positives that are going on, both either personally or professionally with the business, or just in general. I mean, you have, we were talking earlier, you have a lot coming up with the wedding and Summit and everything else, but I just wanted to start off the meeting on a positive note. So you got something you want to share?
No, just busy with all that.
Is that Chad in the background?
Yeah, he's making dinner.
I've noticed that you still get like a bajillion likes on all of your posts, so that's good.
Yeah, people follow, but I got a couple of people to sign up for like Beachbody on demand, hoping that kind of gets their interest.
Well, I think the biggest thing, if you're having people that's a positive, definitely. I mean, if you're having people sign up for the on-demand, that's huge. We walk a fine line between offering things for free and still having to meet goals, right, obviously.
Where's the bush?
Hi, Bobo. Mine's in bed. But anyway, we're gonna kind of get it. I don't want to keep you guys too long. But we're gonna kind of get into this, because I know you guys, it's hard. It is so hard. It's like when you lose your momentum, or I should say you feel like you lose your momentum. It's never as bad as you think it is. I will tell you that right now. I've been doing a lot of self-reflection on where I'm at in my business. Like I'm reading a book right now called Being Strategic. And it's literally like one of the things is called, pulling back the camera, seeing the big picture and being, unbiased about where you're at in your business. And I know you guys all know what to do. It's kind of overwhelming sometimes. So I guess first things first, where are you guys at? Like, obviously, Jennifer, I think I know you and I were chatting. I obviously know you need to make this work. Shannon, I'm kind of getting the impression you're kind of in the same boat. Lisa, obviously you've revamped your schedule. You've got a new job. You look great. You look fantastic. I'm really proud of you. You look really good. But I need to point out something, guys. Jennifer, do you mind if I share a little bit of our conversation? Not to throw you under the bus, but I kind of want them to hear this.
That's fine.
Jen was talking to me about, she feels like, she isn't feeling confident in herself because she's not seeing as much results or progress. And one of the questions you guys got to ask yourselves is, what do you define progress? I'm 15 pounds heavier than I was last year. But I'm working out, I'm healthier, I'm happier. You can't define yourself based on necessarily what your results are. Although using the words "I'm back" is a dangerous territory because people don't always like to follow people that aren't,
They're wishy-washy.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo. And I want to tell you what I see on your posts and stuff. You have not wavered yet. Like, you still post at least 2 to 3 times a day, every single day without fail. And that's huge. That's really, really huge. Lisa, you're in the same boat. I watch you guys. I don't like everything, but I watch you guys, believe it or not. I've seen more of you come out on your Facebook recently. That's awesome. That's, you're funny as hell. So I want to see more of that. Shannon, I totally threw her under the bus probably about 6 months ago and was like, I'm tired. I love you. I love your kids. I want to see you. And it's hard when you don't feel good about you or you're not in a good space. The last thing you want to do is be like, selfie. But you've got to fake it sometimes. I know it sucks. But in some respects, that faking it helps you. Does that make any sense? It's like, I didn't want to work out today. I felt like absolute poop. I was in the bed for 2 hours today with a freaking heating pad because, I don't know, Mother Nature doesn't like me. So, but I did it anyway, and I felt so much better. And we don't have to be perfect Barbies that have like 6 packs and freaking double D boobs. Because as soon as I get back where I want, my boobs are going to be like windsocks again. But that's the biggest thing, guys. You got to remember and take an optimistic look at where you're at. Shannon's made a huge progress in building her following. Jen, you might feel like you've fallen off, but you've got a ton. Have you checked your followers recently? Because they've gone up. Just FYI.
I don't think I have.
And Lisa, you're figuring out your groove. The biggest thing is you have to be honest with yourself about where you're at in the business and if this is something you really want. If you feel like you want it because you're supposed to want it, like you signed up to coach and you're supposed to want it, that's much different than getting that burn, that deep down, I will make this work. That's one of the things we were talking about. Like, you can't say things like, I hope, or maybe, or because already in your head, you're giving yourself the opportunity of, okay, well, if it doesn't work, I only put one foot in. I didn't put both feet in. And I'm guilty of doing that too, guys, big time. It's scary. And especially sometimes because we are part of such an incredible dynamic team. It's easy to feel overwhelmed because you feel like you have to keep up with everyone else. You have to keep up with, Joe Schmo who's getting SU like freaking 2,800 every month. And that's not. You have to literally put blinders on. And that includes me. Like, I'm doing me, guys. I love it. I want you to come with me. I'm here for you. But it's like I am not at the point in my business where I want to be. So I'm putting on my blinders and I'm like, okay, moving forward. And that's where you have to be. The first step in everything is strictly just being honest with yourself. If this is something that you absolutely 100% want to work, then it's going to work. If it's something that you're still not 100% sure, then you need to reevaluate and really figure out why you either, maybe you're not committed at the, point where you used to be, or maybe, your belief system isn't quite there. I'll be blunt with you. I had my best month ever. I'm not a diamond coach right now. I'm an emerald coach. I had my best month ever in June. Surgery, dropped rank, everything else. So it is possible no matter where you're at. In fact, not to be tacky, but I matched what I make with massage therapy, which is a little shocking. I actually text messaged Patrick, like screenshotted when I added everything up, and I was like, holy shit, look at this. But you have to believe in yourself, and that's one of the hardest things. So first thing, really, really, as they said, pull back the camera, take an honest look at where you're at in your business, what you want to accomplish for this business. I don't give two shits where you were at last year. Where were you at 6 months ago? I don't even care where you were at last month, to be perfectly blunt with you. The beautiful thing about this business is you literally can start over at any point in time. Is it easier if you never stop? #duh. But life happens. And obviously you guys know I've been through my share of crap too. So you have to get to the point where you look at this business and you recognize that it's the vehicle that will help you. However you manage to get your brain around that. One thing I will definitely tell you, and this is hard, we just mentioned this, offer value, offer, free groups, we have a free group coming up in about 2 weeks, week and a half. People don't necessarily know you. You have to give them a chance to warm up to you. However, I have gotten to the point where I do not treat follow-ups as contacts. Like it's already done in the past. I already started that relationship, so it does not count towards my month, period. And if it goes through, great. That's just extra points. And also, if somebody, like Jen was talking about, signing up for Beachbody on demand, things like that, I do not count those. For me, SC10 is minimum these days. I had it at SC5, and I've realized that that's not carrying me where I want to be. So now I've doubled it. And I got to tell you, 10 is definitely harder than 5. It's double the work, but it's 100% worth it. And you get a lot more people in your pipeline that way too, and a lot of more eyes on your Facebook because of all the things that you're putting out there. So first, take a long, hard look and evaluate where you're at. So you've said, you've taken a look at your business. You're like, no, I still want to do this. I have to make this work. Great. Even if you haven't posted in a month, keep it simple. Start with 3 to 5 posts a day. Start with 3 posts. Forget 5. 3 posts. If you absolutely just have something that's great and whatever, do an extra post, but minimum 3 posts a day. And make a list. Make a list of the top 3 things you want to accomplish in your business that day. So for me right now, completing my power hour before noon is one of mine. Completing my workout before noon is another one. And making sure that I have my follow-up list for the following day of people that I started working with. And then I walk away. This is something that Shalene Johnson, actually, Shalene, how do you actually pronounce her name? Does anyone know that? Shalene?
No idea.
It's a good question, right? But it's something that she taught me with one of her podcasts. She's like, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to want to start a blog and do all these other things. When I had the time, it's all set up, and I have a post scheduled for tomorrow. But the top 3 things you want to get done, and then, if you want, do 3 things you'd like to get done. It takes some of the pressure off. Instead of thinking, oh, well, I have to post and I have to do all this, whatever. It makes it to where, okay, I can check 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, done. And I think that has helped me a lot in not feeling like my head's spinning with the business. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So keep it simple. If you're starting over again, which, to be honest, I don't think any of you guys are. 3 to 5 posts per day, obviously. Add 1 to 2 people. Connect 1 to 2 new people per day. Not about Beachbody. It's tempting to have verbal vomit, especially if it's the end of the month and you're really trying to push yourself and motivate yourself, to be like, hey, I know I don't know you, but do you want to join my challenge group? I'm just now 3 years into coaching, getting to where I can pull this off. And it's just because of the fact that I've done it again and again and again and again. Like, I have new people, and I literally, when I invite somebody, it's somebody that I see myself in. It's not somebody random. It's not somebody else. It might be a new friend, but I literally will shoot them a message and be like, hey, you're a fellow entrepreneur. We very rarely put ourselves first. You know, I have a new group coming up. I know we haven't known each other that long, so I'm just wondering if you'd like to chat about it. Instead of being like, hey, do you want to join my group? It's literally like, do you want more info? And it takes the pressure off of them. Does that make sense, guys? And that's a really good way to open up the market with cold relationships, because especially if they accept your friend request and you have like a good landing page and everything, they're already wondering who you are. You know, just keep in mind, because if you make yourself look like somebody important, they're going to think you are somebody important. So you have to remember that and treat, you know, it's your business. You're kick-ass. They don't know you're kick-ass yet. They're waiting for you to tell them. So it's your job to tell them. People love to talk about themselves. It's just, we're all kind of narcissists. It's just the way it is. And I think a lot of that has to do with, we're parents, we're wives, we're, you know, daughters, we're, you know, sons, whatever. We generally spend most of our days taking care of what needs to be done and taking care of other people. That's just the way humans are. It's what we do. So when somebody takes the time to go, hey, how are you? Or I noticed one of the girls that hasn't been super friendly to me until now, her boyfriend has MS. My brother's wife has MS, and it's miserable. And I was talking to her about that, and we literally had an hour-long conversation after she had not responded to any of my messages for months before that. So it's literally just opening that door and finding that connection point. As far as how you figure that out, I will tell you what I do. I go through my Facebook, and I've actually started deleting people. People that I know are not a good fit for me, because those are prime gold spots, you know, people that we want to connect, that we want to give our good energy to and build something special with. So that's something that has actually been a huge eye-opener for me recently, is being okay with not being a beacon of light to every single person that's on my Facebook. And I think sometimes we feel like it is our job because we never know who we're going to make a difference to. However, you also got to remember, this business can drain you. It can drain you very badly if you let it, because it can be overwhelming, and then you're going to get crappy people, to be honest. So if there are people that you just don't mesh with, move on. And I know it's tempting to kind of, like, Shannon and I have had this conversation. It's tempting to like hone in on that and just be like, WTF, what just happened? And you can't do that. And that's actually one of the biggest things that has killed my motivation in this business. You have to literally go, okay, that's done. I don't know what's going on with them. Bless it and release it, period. Because whatever's going on with them, that's fine, but it's not your problem, period. And I don't say that to be cold. I literally have gotten to the point that I've had to do that with the business, because we talk to so many people. And I mean, maybe you guys can relate to this. It is a motivation killer. When you have a crappy day, nobody cares about what you're saying. Nobody cares about what you're doing. It's hard, guys. I know it's hard.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. You know, people love to talk about themselves, but if they aren't choosing to have a positive interaction, hi, baby, bless it, release it, and move on. And I'm going to start saying, like, you guys are going to hear me say this: move on, move on, move on, move on. If you actually want to build a business, that's what you're going to have to do. Lisa said it earlier. And people will be watching. People will catch up. And the more you do that, the more people, more people build trust in you. this is something that was a game changer for me, guys. For the last month and a half, I've spent at least an hour to 2 hours digging through YouTube, reading personal development, trying to reach out to you guys, figuring out what I can do to help more. But that's one thing that you got at the core, you've got to really do if you want to have faith in your business, have faith in what this can do. You have to have faith in yourself. And that's what it comes down to. You have to be okay with people not responding. You have to be okay with people not necessarily always being friendly. And you have to be okay with maybe not hitting your goals the way you want to, but moving forward. You know, like Jen and I were talking earlier, I was like, what's your definition of progress? I don't know about you guys, but she looks like she could kick all of our asses. So maybe, you know, maybe you're not at the size you want. Maybe you're not whatever makes you not feel motivated and makes you, you know, be like, why would anyone want to listen to me? You've got to wrap your brain around how you're going to work through that, because you can't make it work with that. So bearing yourself in personal development, be willing to laugh at yourself. You guys see some of my posts and you can tell I don't know if you guys have figured this out. When I'm having a bad day or I'm feeling particularly vulnerable or maybe not very good about myself, just not even as a coach, just me personally, as a woman, as a mom, whatever, I tend to make some smart ass posts, some very in your face, screw you, life sucks, but move on. I'm laughing about it. I'm going to have a good day no matter what. That's when you see my posts come up that are like, whoa, I can't believe she just said that. And that's okay. That's what helps keep me motivated, because that's what's going through my head. And the funny part is the longer I've been doing this, it turns out that's what goes through a lot of people's Shannon heads too, and Lisa, and actually usually Jen too. So all of you guys know this. So if you use coaching, forget about why you don't necessarily aren't where you want, blah, 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 blah. I meant what I said. I don't really care what you did last month. I love you. Everything's great. You know, building momentum is necessary, but you can start over at any point. And that shock value, that's what gets me motivated, personally. And because I like to laugh. I like humor. I diffuse a lot of situations with humor. Naturally, it's just what I do. So, you know, that comes out in obviously my posts and my coaching. One of the major things that I do to kick myself in the ass when I don't want to post, I have 3 alarms set on my phone. 1 in the morning, 1 at lunch, and 1 in the afternoon. And it's kind of like our workout alarms. It's at 6:30, it goes, did you post yet? 12:30, have you invited yet? By 9 o'clock, it's how many people have you talked to today? And I picked that up from Brennan Burchard, and it works. It's kind of like when you hear the alarm go off, you're like, man, but it does work. And it forces you to pay attention on what you didn't accomplish that day. And even if it's 9 o'clock at night, if you have 5 minutes, you don't have to be chained to your Facebook, guys. You don't have to be available 24/7. I was holding a conversation with somebody earlier today. I haven't had a chance to get back to it because you guys are my priority right this second. So literally after we get done, I'm going to message him back, be like, hey, got the baby in bed, got my team call, super pumped. He wants to know about coaching. What better time to talk about coaching than when I got off the call with you guys, right? Okay. I kind of went out over this a little bit, but say you haven't invited for months, weeks, whatever, but you've been posting. Even if it's intermittently, you've been posting. Go back through your posts. Start from the most recent. Like for me, obviously it was what time is it? 9:36. My last post was at 7:30. I'm going to go back, look at my likes. Anybody that's not a coach, I go and look at them. If it's somebody I haven't connected with, they're going to get a message from me tonight. Possibly in the morning. Depends on if I see a whole lot of attitude coming from the profile, I usually wait until the next morning to reach out. But that's how I get my lists, guys. I go back through all of my posts. Look for who's engaging, start there, because you have to remember that likes are kind of almost like soft invites. Do you feel supported if you see like me or like Jennifer, if Shannon likes one of your posts, or Lisa, do you guys feel supported and like, oh, there she is, if you see somebody pop up on your posts?
Mm-hmm.
That's just our community. People, that's it's kind of like flirting. It really is. When somebody likes you, it's like a soft invite to talk or to whatever. And if it's a complete stranger, spend a couple days going back and forth, comment on their stuff. I've got a girl that I know will be an amazing coach, but I don't know her very well yet. And she's been through a lot, so it's probably going to be a while. I already invited her once. She said she's not ready yet, so I'm leaving it alone. But you have to remember that your Facebook, your posts are gold. That's why you want to post pictures, of yourself. That's why you want to be open to sharing things other than just your Shakeology and your workouts, etc. Just, it's kind of like a blog, but without having to have a website. So don't underestimate, also, we were just talking about this. Check your followers. I had a bunch of requests today, and I went back through, and if they weren't a coach, I went ahead and accepted it. And I started, I think, like 15 new conversations today, just because over the last few days, my followers have gone up a lot. So don't underestimate your posts at all, guys. And as far as making a list of people, one of the things that I do is I have, my avatar. I don't know if you guys remember us going over this. Other moms, possibly sorority sisters, people that were even in like Alpha Gamma Delta, but weren't in my chapter, but they're in Tampa. And, different ideas of starting points. People love to talk about themselves. People also really love to talk about their kids. So that's 2 easy gimmies right there, as far as relating. Lisa, question for you, because you've done what? Hardcore 22, Hammer and Chisel,
Hammer and Chisel, 22 Hardcore, and 21 Day Fix Extreme. I did do a little bit of Body Beast this afternoon, and that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's a brutal. It's awesome, but it is brutal. Yeah.
I might just go and add that on to my demand. I'm thinking probably not right, maybe in like about a month. But I'm thinking I kind of did a little bit of it this afternoon, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. The biggest thing out of all of this, guys, and I'm hoping some of this helps you, is if you aren't committed to using the Shakeology, using whatever, following through with the program, it's really hard to talk about and get other people interested in it. It's just, there's a disconnect there. I know myself, when I don't use my Shakeology for a few days, I'm not a 365er. I couldn't keep it down for like 2 weeks during surgery. So it's really hard if you aren't using the products to associate and to engage people. Challenges are one thing, guys, but let's just be honest. The core of this is building a team, building our team. And it's really hard to get excited about that and inviting other people if you don't feel like you're being genuine. Because I don't think we have anybody on this team that is like kind of I don't think any of us are bullshitters, period. And that's a good thing. I'm actually really proud of that. But it also kind of hinders us, because if we're not being true to ourselves, if we're not being true to what we're doing, I feel like it comes through. I know it does for me. It's a lot harder for me to invite when I'm not doing what I need to be doing for myself. I guess as far as, evaluating starting points, as far as I'm concerned, now is a clean slate. It's July 11th, which means we still have 20 days. That's a lot of time, guys. If you can commit to 30 minutes to an hour a day of just sit down, open up the Facebook, and go through people. Go through people. Be like, hey, she looks like she's a cool chick. Somebody literally tagged me in a post yesterday and was like, I accepted your friend request because you look like you were cool and you looked halfway normal. Period. That's why people accept requests from us. Because we look like we might be fun to hang out with. And I think we kind of are. I mean, am I wrong on that?
Not at all.
So you have to be okay with being like, okay, I don't have any idea who this person is, but she looks kind of cool. So, I mean, it's kind of like middle school. Like, I like your sneakers. They light up. Will you be my friend? I'm serious. Like, guys, am I wrong on this?
No, I need to say something before I forget.
Okay.
James wants to know, and this is so off topic, but James wants to know if Patrick knows SpongeBob SquarePants. No, and you saying the lights on the sneakers made me remember that. So
knows him personally? No.
Okay, I'll let him know.
No. I'm wondering why he asked that.
He wanted to know what we were doing, and I said, I'm doing a team call, and he said, who's on your team? So I started listing everybody, and I got to Patrick, and he says, hey,
Patrick. Okay, now I got it. Okay. Ella started mimicking SpongeBob SquarePants at one point, so she was not allowed to watch that for a while because it was really awkward.
Yeah.
I think she's gotten the concept that you don't always act the way you see people on TV act. So, as far as this goes, just to recap for you guys, be honest about where you are in the business. Keep it simple. Add value, but don't sell yourself short. If you have a goal, keep going, and nothing but that goal is going to be enough for you. So like I said, if it's one person joining, if it's SC5, it's SC10, whatever it is, don't do it because you think I want to see it. Don't do it because you think Brittany wants to see it. Don't do it because you feel like you're obligated. Do it. You have to find why you want to do it and stick with it. And either it is something that you decide you're 100% in on, or you're not. Either way, it's on you because it's your business, and that's the hardest thing to learn. Because in this environment as a team, it feels like we kind of work for each other and with each other, and we do. But on the other hand, it's still your business. And I feel like sometimes we lose that in translation. You know what I mean? Like, we get very overwhelmed with all this stuff that other people are doing, and we feel like we can't keep up, and it's almost kind of paralyzing sometimes. Because life can really just bitch slap you at any point in time, and it's not real fun. So being super, motivational and stuff, just remember, one of the things that I've always told you guys is it's about health. It's not about fitness. It's about the whole picture. Mental, physical, spiritual, everything. Oh, complete side note. I got fired. I'm not going to name any names. I got fired as a coach because I was too godly, apparently. So that was a new one. That I'm just sharing that because at first I got really, really mad, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me, right? And then I realized, I read back through the message, and I was like, you know what? Everything about this message says I. It's not about me. And that's what you have to keep in mind with this stuff. And I actually was really kind of heartbroken because I think she would have made an amazing coach, but it is what it is. And the great and not so great part about this business is you never know what to expect. You have no idea. So, and that's something that you have to get used to, and it kind of embrace. And it's hard to sometimes. So keep it simple. Bring back the camera. Be honest with yourself. Remember to bury yourself in personal development. If you feel like you're not bringing enough to the table, or you're not, resonating with yourself as a coach, or you're feeling like, why would anyone want me to be their coach? Or, you're not being able to have people join. You have to bury yourself. Even if it's literally shut down the computer, shut down your phone for a day. Just work and read your personal development. I've done that several times. It works. Because things start to click in your head. You start to think about things that you wouldn't normally be thinking about if you're sitting there behind the keyboard like, oh my gosh, I have to make this happen. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just walk away. Few tips and tricks that I've used. Set alarms on your phone to remind you, so you cannot get away with, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. No. So that's kind of a wake-up call. You wouldn't skip your workout. So if you really want to get paid and you want this business to work, you can't skip the building part. Also set a timer, set it for an hour, and literally just go through your Facebook and be like, who's cool? Who do I want to hang out with? Shannon, don't kill your children. And then finally, wherever you're at in the business, yesterday doesn't matter. Last week doesn't matter. None of it matters. What matters is going forward. And remembering that your Facebook, your Instagram, your blog is your platform. So whenever somebody interacts with you on it, that is like a soft invitation to build that relationship. And just like you wouldn't want to forget to follow up with somebody that wanted to join your challenge group, you don't want to potentially miss somebody that really needs your help, or that could potentially help a lot of other people by not going back through those and seeing who's interacting with you. Does that make sense, guys? Questions, comments, concerns? Jen, does that help at all?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm trying to go back through like friends that are like still following me, and I just got a bunch of like follow requests or friend requests from a bunch of weirdos. And I'm like, you have like 2 photos. And
basically, if they're from a foreign country, I do not accept, and they get blocked.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be that way, but that's just the way it is. But I feel it's hard. The biggest part is just starting and being okay with wherever you're at. And I know that's difficult sometimes. But as far as Jenna, obviously, I know you're at a point that you need to make this work. So I would start with just success, like making Success Club your goal. And that's why we were talking earlier, I was like, you have to make it, something that you're going to do. And it's hard. And I realized actually one of the reasons I am really motivated when I'm on my desktop in the office. I'm not really motivated when I'm on my laptop. And I think I figured out why. Because last year's vision board is still on my laptop. I haven't done my one for this year. Yeah. So that is on my list of things to do. Any questions, comments? I hope that this helped a little bit, guys, but I'm all yours for another few minutes.
Isn't there a way to see on your phone? I know you told me this before, but on your phone to see your followers?
Yeah, actually, if you go to, let me see here. Okay. If you go to your profile and then go to, it should be on your landing page. Hold on, let me see if I, oh, actually, maybe you can't from your phone anymore.
I know they just didn't update, so.
I don't know if you can. I'm going to have to figure that out. I know if you go to requests, you can see who's requested you. Like if you go to friend requests, I don't know if, Shannon, I don't know if you can see this. You can see like the current requests.
Mm-hmm.
And that counts as followers until you accept the request. But I don't know if that actually, yeah, I don't know if you can or not on that. I'm going to have to figure that out. Oh, also, Lexi and I have paired up. She was my roommate at the Diamond Retreat last year, and she told me about a Teamsy. It's called Teamsy, and it's awesome. There's a free trial for 30 days. I do not know how much it is monthly, but literally, I'm not kidding, guys. you set your goal. I set mine to make 120,000 next year. And it step by step gives me how many people I need to contact a day, how many people I need to have sign up per month. And it's literally meant for coaches. So it's called Teamzy, TEAMZY.com.
I found it.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
under account settings.
Oh, well, that works.
And what? Sorry, can you repeat that again?
It's Teamzy, TEAMZY.com. And it allows you, it's a client customer base, but it literally tells you how many people you need to contact, who you need to contact, when, like, it's very simple. And I like stupid simple. I'm not techie. You guys know this. Lisa knows about this, but what the new, just to give you guys a little update, what the new Coach University is, I'm putting together a file folder of how to set up your EFT, how to check your downline, how to check your volume, how to check, how to access trainings. I'm literally screenshotting everything with instructions. And that way, whenever you guys sign up a new coach, before any trainings or anything else begin, you can literally just tag them in that, and that's where they start. So they know how to set up their website. They know how to do everything, and we don't have to mess around with that in training. And I feel like that'll probably help you guys a lot, because that's hard when you first, get used to, doing everything. I'm also revamping my welcome email, and that will be posted for you guys probably end of this week. I changed the wording and everything a lot, so you guys can use it if you want. But trying to think what else. I feel like I'm talking a lot here. Somebody else.
I have two things. Like, can you maybe put, it doesn't have to be like super detailed, but maybe like a quick, I don't know how many steps it would be, like how-to guide on how to onboard a new coach. I'm not talking about getting them signed up.
Talking about how to start them successfully?
Yeah, because I feel like John signed up and he was like, bam, 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 bam. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just, and I was so excited for him, but I didn't have all the answers. So I was like, okay, let me get back to you. And I almost feel like that lost a little bit of, not his confidence in me, but it lost a lot of his momentum because he was ready to go and hit the road running.
That is actually something that I'm working on, because I literally, from the time I had surgery, I've been going through the back office and going back through all the trainings, and there actually is one in there, like how to onboard a new coach. So I have not gone through it yet because I was trying to streamline everything, but that I'll get back with you on that, and we'll see. Because I feel like since we're being open, I feel like that's something that I struggle with too, because when I started coaching, it was almost 3 years ago, there were no sneak peeks. There were no push groups. There was no anything. And my style is so much different from Brittany's that her stuff does not work for me. And that's hard, which means I'm trying to create everything from scratch. Honestly, I'll be blunt with you guys. A lot of the inspiration that I found to actually make this business work for me wasn't from my upline. It was from completely different people. So Amy Silverman's one of them. So, yeah, but I agree with you, onboarding, but also you guys, this is something that I'm going to start harping on a little bit more. And I understand that some months, you can't, things happen and it's hard to afford certain things, but I have had a couple of coaches not understand why they can't build momentum in their business, but they don't use Shakeology. They have a program. They never actually bought a program. They just signed up with the $40, whatever. And that's never going to work. It's just not. So that's something that I think you guys definitely need to drive home. That if you want this to be your vehicle and you want it to really work for you, then you've got to get behind it. And, if you're only half in, it's really going to show up. And in my opinion, not to be a bitch, if you pay the $40, have never done a program or have a program that, you know, you bought 6 years ago off eBay, never try Shakeology, never do the, you know, try the performance line. You're basically saying, I don't really believe in this, but I'm going to act like I do. And hopefully somebody will believe me enough to where I can make some money. And that's not what we're about. So I want to just kind of drive it home, because I know it's all about volume. It's about commission. It's about all this stuff. But in essence, it's like somebody giving marriage counseling advice when they don't have a background, don't have a degree, and they've never been married. Doesn't quite work. It's like people that don't have kids telling me how to raise my child. You know, and we all know how annoying that is. Mm-hmm. So you guys, I know we all want this business to work, but there have to be standards, and you have to be okay with being like, if you really want, you know, and people tend to be like, oh, I really want this to work. And then they just kind of fall off. Like, I've had that happen so many times, and you just have to keep going. You have to keep recruiting, and you have to keep talking to people, because people are going to say they're going to do it, and then they won't do anything. And it's frustrating because you feel like it's your fault, even if you literally held their hand and walked them through everything. It isn't, you know. Obviously there's always room to improve, and there's always room to do things. But to be honest with you, everything is in that back office. Like, all of the other stuff is great. It streamlines, it makes things simple. But if somebody really wants to do this, they're going to. As far, let's see, Shannon, you said 2 things. Is there something else?
Yeah, the other thing is I know a lot of us have Instagram, and like, I've really started to post a lot more on Instagram. And I've been getting messages from people asking me what the hashtag Team RE is. So I clicked it because I was like, okay, why is nobody getting like what this is? And I feel like we need to flood that hashtag, because there's random like Remax on there and a couple other ones. And there's only a couple of some of our coaches. And then so I feel like, I don't care if you're not, like, this is me being like super picky on this. Like, I don't care if you're not posting about Beachbody. If you're posting on Instagram, hashtag Team EREs or RE, so we have our presence.
Okay.
Because I've had to explain that like 5 times now, and they're like, well, there wasn't much there. And I was like, well, okay.
Well, and that's also like, you guys, and do me a favor, if you see stuff on my profile, because I'm bad about this, but I'm going to try my best to remember, I'm going to be posting everything through Instagram onto my Facebook during Summit. So I want to make sure that it's public. So if you ever see, like, shoot me a message and I'll change it.
Okay.
But yeah, you actually were reading my mind. I was trying to figure out a way to actually create more of a presence. Because I know most of us use the hashtag, but I agree. If you're posting, period, show you're a part of something.
Yep.
Okay. Campaign Team RE. I like it. Okay. Jennifer, you're obviously going to get me one-on-one quite a bit, but do you have anything?
No.
No?
No. I think after these, I'm hoping Summit will help.
Well, I know it's going to help. I think you're doing a lot of things that are very outside of your comfort zone. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think, I just responded because I got invited to Brittany's thing, and I'm like, nope, one of my coaches is competing. I won't be there. So, but me, Tabor, several of us are going to be there. So, that's going to be huge. And I'm actually planning on being there probably and I'm going to talk to people that were there last year. I'm planning on being there probably about an hour early, if not a little bit before, because I want to get us dead front and dead center so I can get pictures. I know, right?
Yeah.
You're not excited, but we are. But Jen, like, seriously, do you feel like some of what I'm saying is sinking in, or do you feel like it's still not connecting, or?
It is. I just gotta go in and find other people, besides like the ones that are like, am I already my friends? I guess the cold market is where I always struggle.
Well, you know, one of the things, do you belong to like any of the mom groups, anything like that? I thought you said at one point you were reaching out.
I have some. I think my problem is that like I've joined like those, like the 21 Day Fix, like extreme, like, or just the different side challenge groups. So everything that pops up in my feed is all coaches.
Turn it off.
And so, yeah, that's, I think I need to go back and do, because I think I'm missing a lot of my other friends that aren't already in Beachbody, like their posts and.
Yeah. Because you want to make sure, like I highlight, and one of the things I do every month is I make lists on my Facebook so I know who I'm interacting with. I actually have my challenge tracker and everything else printed out, my bat. I still don't like the bat, but for right now I'm going to use it. And then after Summit, I'm going to change to the diamond tracker because I want to start tracking my volume.
Froze.
What? What'd you say? Oh no. I think we lost her. But I mean, like I said, last month was my best month ever, and I dropped rank in December, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But that's kind of on me because I was relying on, you know, a couple coaches to maintain it, and that doesn't ever work. It might work for a little while, but it just doesn't in the long run. Then it sucks because you have to learn it the hard way because you hope it'll work. It works long enough to trick you to think it'll work, and then it doesn't. So, Shannon, what about you? Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Did that help you a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my brain's going. I'm obviously not going to be able to sleep again tonight. Thanks.
Sleep's overrated. You can sleep in your bed.
I have like plans going on, so.
Like plans?
Like just how I'm going to get back in and like tackle this and what I need to do. And see, my problem is that, especially because I live with my parents, like I don't have like my own space per se. Like, I mean, I share a room with my 2 toddlers. Like, I don't have my space. So I'm never on the laptop. I'm never on a PC ever. It's all done from my phone. Even at work, they have all that stuff blocked at my new job. So, and I let myself get distracted very easily while I'm on my phone. So I need to come up with a plan in my head, and that's kind of like where I'm doing about what I can do. And that's like when you were talking about the alarms, I was checking my Android to see if I could set messages on my alarms. And so my brain's just going.
That's good. That's what the point of this is. Lisa, you just look like ecstatic. Like, you got some stuff going on over there?
Yeah, well, I suppose I do, kind of. Yeah. Well, being that I started this new job a couple months ago, on occasion, a couple times a week, I will come in, I'll walk in the door with my Shakeology. And that's kind of gotten the attention of some of the girls that I work with. And so recently they just kind of asked me, you know, kind of what it was that I was drinking, and I explained to them it's Shakeology. And I had asked them if they had ever heard of Beachbody, and they had. And so we just kind of chatted a little bit, and so there may be 2 more people that are interested. We'll see if they contact me or if they have any questions. I told them, I gave them my information, and I said, you guys can contact me anytime. If you ever want information on a certain factor or anything like that, I said, go ahead and contact me. I said, I'm always here, so you'll always see me. So, but then one of the girls had told me that when she was in high school, her gym class did P9 gas.
I believe that, yeah.
And I've never heard of a high school ever doing that. That's the first time I've ever really heard about that. and that's a public school in southern Minnesota. I mean, and it's a great program to do. I mean, I've never done it myself, but when she told me that, she goes, I really miss doing, P90X. She goes, I kind of like to get back involved in it. And I said, well, let's sit down one time and talk about maybe a couple of your goals that you want to achieve, because I know she's going to be getting married in September. So now is the perfect time.
And also, guys, I don't know if I goofed. I think I put the deadline on there, but I didn't put that the challenge group is starting. There is a second group, July 18th. Right now, I've got 2 in there. And just so you guys know, because I'm going to start being a super stickler on this, they have to be a current challenger of yours. Like, they have to be underneath you. And I would prefer they be on using Shakeology. But if they want to do 1 round without it, that's all right. However, I'm to the point where, like, okay, if you do 1 group with just a program, that's fine. But to do a second one, you actually have to be committed, because it's, unfortunately, a lot of times people keep dragging things out. And I'm fine with helping people one-on-one, but it's kind of one of those things. I've started telling people that this is what me and my coaches have agreed on, so this is what we do. And it's the best way to do things, because otherwise, if the point is you're trying to get them the best results possible, I have a girl right now who struggles with bipolar and depression really badly. And if you guys know anything about Brigitte Linford, like, she literally was homeless when she started coaching, and like got off her medication. And there's tons of stories like this. There's cancer survivors that are, now top coaches. And I think that that's something that you guys got to remember. Like, we're not selling people crap. It's literally like, we believe in it, we use it, and we want to get you the best results possible. Now, if somebody flat out has $20 in their account and just can't afford it, okay, then we find a plan B. But there's a lot of people that, you see the acrylic nails, you see the Starbucks, you see, the fancy trips to places and whatever else. And you have to kind of take the approach of, can't afford it means doesn't want to afford it. And you need to find out why. Because I every single time, and you guys have heard me say this, when I stop my Shakeology, my whole body just goes to absolute crap. I'm finally starting to feel better, and it's been like 3 weeks. So, actually almost a month. So, anyways, I don't want to keep you guys all here all night, but does anybody have anything else for me right now? Shannon, I think before your ADD kicks in, I'm going to kick you off. I see the focus. I see the brain going. So I'm like, you just go. I'm going to wake up to like 20 billion questions, aren't I?
Probably.
At least I know that. Jennifer, you look like you're feeling better. Maybe a little. And at least you're going to have people rooting for you while you're on stage, right? I don't even know what your bikini looks like. Huh?
What my bikini looks like?
Yeah.
I just got a simple, like, regular bikini. I think it's the one I posted in the challenge tracker. The teal.
Ah, okay. No, I have seen it. Yeah. I like the tracker app. I love the tracker app, but it gets a little overwhelming sometimes, especially this group, because we've got 25 people in there. But yeah, well, this is recorded. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm wide awake, and I have to give Ella another dose of Advil anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and convert this. It'll be up tonight. And then if you guys have any other questions, next week, I do not have a call schedule. I am doing one-on-one calls, and then we're doing the next call after that is Summit, and the schedule will be posted for that. And then the last call before Summit is Summit Prep, and I don't care if you're going or not. I'd like to see you guys there, because I want you to utilize and figure out how to utilize this trip for your, I plan on tagging everybody I can, and all the pictures, because that made a huge difference for me last year. So, but if you guys don't have anything else for me, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. But I hope that this helped and gave you some ideas of where to start. So, I I will see you guys later. I'll be online for a little bit if you think of anything, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.